I'm so close. Hi.
Hello.
Hey everyone. No one is here yet. Everyone, it's like, with the movies, you always know that there's like a block of ads at the start and you
Mm,
never come on time because that's what people are doing now. They're
yeah,
like,
they
this
wait.
motherfuckers are going to talk about random shit for 40 minutes, so we're not going to come on time.
Yeah, wait.
That's very us though. I'm just going to tell people that we're on, but I know that everyone figured us out already. Okay, so
Ooh,
we're on air. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Twitter on desktop is so weird.
and I love my mom. She just texted me that she found some moss in the backyard of the house
Okay.
that she's staying at.
Oh,
So
she's not
cool.
home. I thought she's
No,
texting you from downstairs.
no, well, we do that sometimes because we're like lazy. But there's like my house has like it's hollow on the middle, so
Mm-hmm.
we can usually like shout at each other through there.
Mm.
But she left for the weekend to go with her high school friends,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they rented a house like a few towns away.
Ooh, fun.
So she found moss, and she's like, "Oh, I gotta text you." So moss, plant,
Because you like moss?
yeah.
Oh, okay. I would think that moss in the house is a bad sign, actually.
No, it's outside. It's in the backyard.
Oh, it's not. Oh,
Like,
okay, got it.
yeah, it's like
I thought it's like a.
it's like too fucking bright. But
Yeah, I got
it
it.
yeah, she found moss on a rock outside of the house,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very nice. It's very pretty. Also, like a huge fucking plant of rosemary. So cool.
Okay.
I'm actually like going to pick her up tomorrow, so that's why like I'm gonna step
You're
out of the
you're you're
city.
not sure. I like her. You're not sure.
I lost all fucking track of time because yesterday I had like I fixed my sleeping schedule for a while, like this
Okay.
entire week. But yesterday I was like, nah, fuck it, head empty. So I slept the entire fucking day,
Ooh, that's a good idea.
and I couldn't sleep. So I slept like 2-3 hours today, I think.
Sleeping in the middle of the day would do this to you. Mm, I'm shocked and offended actually because my week of day offs passed, and I don't know how that happened.
Too quickly.
Like like this. And I literally every single time I go on a vacation, I'm like, go, stay at home on a vacation. I every single time I'm like, I'm going to fix my life. I'm going to clean this, do that, do this,
Yeah.
film 10 videos, edit all of them, like read so many books, write so much, and I literally do like 10% of that tops.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, I have free time. I'm gonna do everything. And I just like sit on fucking TikTok or something the entire
Yeah, yeah,
time.
yeah, just wasting time on
Sucks.
Twitter. Um, and I'm also feeling NaNoWriMo hardcore.
I've kept up because like I'm on the prepping stage. I'm not actually like writing any chapters yet. So it's like character backstories,
So how are you counting words?
on the like every time that I do like for instance, I my story is divided on like past and the present. So
Hmm.
I did like the outlines for
Oh, so you're
the
counting the
past.
outline.
yeah, so it's like the outlines, and I have like bits, like scenes that I already wrote. So like I have timelines, scenes, characters. I am struggling with the names. This is like probably one of the first stories that I have that I had no names for anybody.
I
So I
feel like
actually
names
had
are
to like,
the easiest.
for me, no, it's just like the fucking bane of my existence. And especially because I have no idea why I chose to write fantasy on the first try. Like it could have picked, I don't know. I have like a few that are like contemporary or anything. I could have just picked them, but no,
I don't know.
I had to go with fantasy.
Um, I feel like fantasy is easier for me because I don't have to do as much research. As in, like, I can pull stuff out of my
Make
ass
things
and
up.
it
Yeah,
works. When it comes to contemporary stuff, especially because I'm writing in an
I lost
American
you for a
setting.
second there.
Okay. I think because I think contemporary is harder for me because I have to research and I don't live in
Yeah,
America, so I usually write in an American setting or in an European setting. So it's usually like a lot of Googling and I hate it. And sometimes I do this thing where with contemporary, I make up a town and I kind of like swerve around all the issues that need research. As in, I kind of theoretically know how they work, and I hope they work the same way there. But also, I kind of avoid talking about them in detail, you know? So that's what I'm
yeah.
doing. Also, I'm like really terrible. I thought I'm gonna write so much this week because I'm on vacation, but I did it on the first day. Second day dropped. Third day also wrote a little bit, like 500 words or something. And then I was like, oh, I'm busy doing this, or I'm busy doing this. I have to be there. I have to be there. I don't know why I have to be everywhere. I feel like at this point it's like an avoidant technique. Like I'd rather do anything else but write.
Yes, I feel that.
So I'm like, oh, a friend invited me over. I gotta go. Like, I have to go visit my family. But do I really? You know? So I wasted a lot of time. Actually, I'm planning to write for an hour or two after this stream because I feel like what's the goal for today? It's 10,000?
I don't
Probably.
know. I
It's
have no idea.
6th of November, so gotta check it. It's embarrassing for me, and it always go the same way for me. All the NaNoWriMos. I'm really excited about the first day. Really doing good with the first day, and then it just drops. I don't know how people stay consistent.
I know. Like I managed to like go for what is it, like 5, 6 days, 5 days. I've managed to go for like 5 days strong, and I'm crashing right now. I have no idea what to write now.
It's
Uh,
10,000,
ugh,
and I'm only at 3,638.
I
That's sad
know.
for me. That's sad for me. I mean, I know what I need to write, but I also am trying to make it beautiful. And when you want to make stuff beautiful, you need to think about what you're writing, and it's not very like fast, especially being a second for me,
There
it's a
was
second
like
language.
of course, like I haven't started yet, but I'm gonna try use something that um one of my teachers like gave me that advice, but with like essays and stuff like that. That it's like you can go over it several times. Like you write, I don't know, like three major things that happen on the scene, and then you get back and you're just like write something specific about this, and then like keep doing that. So you're like
Oh, so it's
fleshing out
like,
stretching out like from the key points outwards,
yeah, got it.
and
I understand. It's like writing the bones first and then
yeah,
fleshing them out.
exactly. So I'm gonna try that because I have like the outline for like most of the story, But I just realized that I finished the entire outline for the past, and I'm thinking, why is the past more interesting than the present in my story? I don't think that's a good thing.
Stop. This is a hole. You're digging a hole.
I know.
Um, I don't have a problem with like fleshing out stuff. I have a lot of description actually. Like I'm more of a descriptive type of writer. And I have more problem with actual stuff happening, you know,
Yeah.
writing not just vibes, but the plot.
We are
So
exactly the opposite.
yeah, so I'm like, ugh. So and it's weird because I have the idea what's happening and what's going to happen. It's just I'm like, should I hold it in for more pages? You know, is it too fast? Is it too fast to reveal this? And then I'm like thinking, no, it's not too fast. People need to be engaged and you know to read for something, not for pretty trees and you know scenery. So I'm more like I have problems with writing actual action. Um,
To be fair, there are so many books that is like 30 pages of like pretty descriptions and like this much blood. So
Everyone skips that though. Like people straight up skip it.
I never skip anything
I mean,
usually.
I don't. When I read fan fiction though, I do skip.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
don't care. Like give me the most interesting part of this. I'm not interested to read about pretty trees and lakes. Um I mean, I do read like when in an actual book, but I think it's because I bought it and I
Yeah,
value objects that I buy for money. So with fan fiction, it's different because it's free.
yeah.
Um, so it's kind of like that. What else? Um, I wasn't doing much actually. Like not in terms of I was doing a lot this week. I changed the battery in my phone finally, and it's not dying on me anymore. Which was very important. What else? Bought some stuff for the apartment, but in terms of like consuming content, I wasn't doing much. As in, like, I'm still watching the Australian Bachelorette, which is like my highlight. Although she now has so many connections with so many people, I'm like, girl, I don't know how you're going to figure this shit out. Like you're
Uh,
going on a date with this girl and this guy and then this girl again and then this other girl and then they introduced four new people into the cast and asked you to like eliminate four other people and like this new people and you need to make connections with them and I'm like this is polyamory, you know, this is like the definition of polyamory. Like how could she ever choose? Like and the people are nice, like straight up nice. You won't meet any type, like you won't meet these types of people on Tinder. I don't know where they're getting them, but like they're actually nice, have jobs, like proper normal people, you know, also attractive. Like how do they find them? I would like a word with the casting director. So I'm like, okay, I don't know how you're going to do this. Like maybe you'll end up with three people at the end. Um, I started watching Drag Race España, which is like the Spanish version of Drag Race.
mhm.
It surprisingly slaps. Usually when not to say that Spanish people can do good television, um, usually I find that when a lot of Drag Race is like um it has a lot of very specific humor, like of a specific group, and also it's specific to the region. And since I'm very invested in American pop culture, I understand a lot of references when I'm watching the original version, or even when I'm watching the British version. I still understand a lot of jokes because they're similar. When it comes to since Drag Race is now like universal and they have all these other versions, there's a Holland version, Spanish version, and I'm like there was a Thailand version but they canceled it. Anyway, I was like I'm going to be completely lost on humor, like I'm not going to get anything out of this. But the queens are so likable that I'm kind of ignoring. I don't understand certain things. Like I get that it's a pun, but I don't understand it because it's in a different language. And the humor is a bit like it's much more sexual, surprisingly. I was like every I mean, Drag Race in general loves sexual puns, but all the acting challenges that they do, it's always about like fisting someone or like I don't know, making out with someone. I'm like, I I'm surprised. I don't understand why. Maybe it's like a cultural thing. I don't know.
I would be
Maybe the
curious.
drag scene looks like that
I would
there.
be
I don't
curious
know.
about one in Mexico because there is a talent that apparently everybody ages like 13 up has, is that find a dirty meaning to absolutely everything on earth. So that was very funny when we were in school. I can imagine like the humor of adult drag queens. That would be delightful
That's
and
like
terrible at the same time, but
maybe
it will
they
be
will.
interesting to
Maybe
see.
they will do a version in Mexico. I wouldn't be surprised. They're literally doing every single version possible.
This
Like
is freezing up like
Australia.
hell.
What?
It froze over for like 2 minutes, and it was just like, okay.
Mm.
I heard something about other drag shows, and that's
Yeah,
it.
I mean, they might do a Mexican version because they're doing literally every single version they can do right now. Like Australia recently got a version. I think Italia recently was announced. Um, Something else too. I'm like, okay, take over the world. I'm surprised, but there's more content for me to watch. Can't wait for a Russian version. It's not going to happen. There was
Yeah.
recently like some influencer. She's like some TV host. Some I think she's from MTV, from the Russian line of MTV, and she attempted to make her like to create her own drag race like without buying any licenses but just to make like a drag competition show, and it is an actual mess. Like it's so bad. It's literally so cringe. I could not watch more than 5 minutes of it. I was like, no, my eyes are bleeding. I can't watch that. So
Does it happen like to you that uh, things you can like, there's no problem in other languages, but when it's in your own, it's just like, no, no, I can't handle that shit. No,
Russian
it's just so weird.
Russian curse words are so like gutter, completely gutter. They sound absolutely terrible. Like
I
when a person curses in English, I'm like, okay. When a
Yeah,
person curses in Russian, I'm immediately like, uh, where the fuck you crawled out from?
I just saw that on like I think it was on Instagram, that it was like one of those memes that there's like a kitty and there's like a lion and there's a dragon, and it's
Mhm.
like cursing in English, it's nothing. Cursing in Spanish has a little bit more punch, and then cursing in Russian. I was just going to ask you about that.
It's terrible. It sounds terrible. It sounds like I don't know. First, it sounds rough and like it's upsetting to hear. Like immediately, I'm like, "You're uneducated motherfucker. What the fuck are you doing here?" Because um, it's just I don't know. It's very genitalia based. A lot of it, genitalia and sex work based. I would say that a lot of curses are, and like they're very and people are very creative with them. Like I've heard many things that are not like common, but are very bad sounding.
I'm
So
trying to close some stuff on my computer to see if like it stops freezing over.
Maybe if
Uh,
you have like 100 of windows open.
no, it's for instance, I have to close one of the like what's it called? The antivirus
Okay.
like protection service.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have like two, like the original from the computer and then another one. I
You
have
can
to
hear
close
it
the
in the
other
state.
one because it gets like it freezes over. My computer
Okay.
is old. It's getting to its limit and it's tired of
Mm-hmm.
my bullshit. Especially because I've been spending like the entire afternoon sitting on it, like writing, trying to, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not happy with being used all day again because I kind of stopped using my computer that much when I was like reading, which is a while back, and watching shows on my on my TV. So now the computer is back on use like full time,
Hardcore
and it's
mod.
just not happy. I need one.
Should we
I need a new
start?
one.
Should we start with the episodes? Some
Yes.
people are here. People are waiting for us. So, welcome everyone. Hi, hello. We're starting. Um, when we're starting with the new season 2, episode 1. We're starting where we ended because immediately after uh, Eve stopped Villanelle, I was like, who stopped who? For a second. Eve stopped Villanelle. Villanelle disappears, and Eve runs off because she's shocked. She did it, and she's shocked. And I'm like, lady, you did it of your volition. Like, no one asked you to do this. No one pressured you into doing this. You did this yourself, and now you're acting like a victim here. Like, you stabbed a woman.
It's I love the credit like the start like the time card that says like 30 seconds later. That was just so
Funny?
ridiculous. And then she runs out. I think she's like somebody said like she's the worst one of the worst cases of gay panic that a woman is about to kiss you, you stab her.
Mhm.
Uh, no,
I feel
ma'am.
like I feel like it's straight up rude. Like the person is trying to kiss you, and you indicated that you're interested, and now you
Yeah,
stab them.
rude.
Rude. Like, please. Anyway, Villanelle actually did not run far away. Apparently, she hid in some kind of a barn. I feel like it's a parking space for cars, maybe. Uh,
I have no idea what it was.
or a
Maybe
tool
like a
shed.
shit. Yeah, tool shed something. It's just like odd. Just a like a wood door there. But I'm pretty sure that if Eve wasn't like so shocked and everything, she could have seen her because there was like the blood smear
It
on the
was
wall.
very pretty obvious, and I'm surprised that the people that like I feel like they were from the 12th,
Yeah.
right? That came to Villanelle's apartment to check if she's there did not find it either.
I think it's maybe not like because we are like shown the signs, but they're not like as obvious. Because, for instance, Eve does like kind of wipe one of the blood stains on the handrail, and then there was I think there was just that one on the handrail, and then the one outside of the door. And I found it so rude that they took all of her clothes and stuff from her apartment. Like they cleared it out. I am mourning the outfits that I liked from that closet.
Uh, I feel like Villanelle doesn't have much attachment to this clothing. She's very much a person that buys a new shiny thing, wears it for a day, and then forgets about it. So
Yeah,
I don't think she misses it.
but
Um,
I will.
okay, so uh, Villanelle is running from the 12th and from Eve at the same time, and from like the police at the same time. She is trying to. She realizes that she can't run with her wound, and she needs some help. So she's trying to make it so someone is going to bring her somewhere safe. It's very interesting. Like the whole scene in the supermarket is very interesting in the way she approaches people, like how she puts on different masks when she approaches different people. And she's judging them by how like they're going to react to a person that is asking for help. That lady that straight up told her that she doesn't like want her around and doesn't care about her BS was interesting to me. That's the lady that like scoffs at homeless people.
Yeah, so fucking rude. And like I love the like she was approaching an older man, and the wife has a fucking radar. She immediately is like turns around and goes to like grab her husband and leave. Ma'am,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is concerning, but okay, I imagine like you probably have to. And then
She probably
how
had reasons.
yes,
Let's
how
say that.
desperate do you have to be to conceal your appearance that you actually put like makeup on display on your face?
I've done it.
But like straight up from like the brush and everything?
No, from the jar.
Because like she grabs one of the like the display brushes to like put on the blush and
I
everything.
mean, the jars are also contaminated by this point.
Yeah.
When I was a teenager, I didn't think about microbes this much. I did use makeup that was
To
um,
be fair,
at the makeup counter.
some of the counters that I have seen like with makeup displays are so fucking disgusting that it
They
scared
are.
me when I was like walking through one of the department stores and I saw like you know like the husbands that are just like there and bored and just like standing doing nothing.
Waiting. Yeah.
This man sneezed so hard over an entire display of eyeshadows that the employee was just like staring at him for a hot second, just like the man just like sorry, just like walked away.
I mean, I did it when I was like, imagine you're a teenager, you have a date lined up, but you don't have money for makeup, and you actually don't even know how to use makeup, but you've seen a lady in like in an ad putting on some concealer, and you have this big pimple on your forehead. That's when I used a makeup counter.
Understandable.
So
I think I
I
might.
mean, and I know that some people do, like some people that don't have money sometimes do this. So
Most of
sometimes you have to.
like lately, even before like the pandemic, I did see like a bunch of stores that were like either they have somebody there like often, or the makeup displays are like the compacts are closed. So it's like they're trying to like make it a little bit better, and they have like uh disposable like brushes and stuff for you to use, and like that's a lot better. And even like there was like one of the stores uh that was like mostly empty like all the time, so if you needed like makeup quickly you could run there, and the ladies at the counter were so bored that they would do your makeup in like
Mm.
15-10 minutes, and then you could just like run off. The fun part is that you usually ended up looking like too made up for what you were going for.
Yeah,
It's
like
like a full face of
a
makeup for like going to movie theater.
prom makeup look.
Yeah, but it
That's
still was
why I
fun.
never liked going to the makeup counter ladies. They go way too hard with this shit. Like, and I don't look good with a lot of makeup on. I look actually like a lady of the night. So, um, and they usually went like hardcore. I don't know if it's like everywhere like that or it's that they are not very professional. but it's like a full beat, like a drag queen beat, and very, very heavy on the eyes, plus a very bright lipstick.
It's like for everything here. Like if you want to like get your hair done and like your makeup done for like going to a wedding or like graduation or everything, they go so fucking hard with everything that I have like for my the last time that I got like professional makeup done was for my graduation. That I that it was a friend of my mom that like helped me with the makeup, and I actually had to like, oh no, there's no need for like that. This color is fine, like or this like tone it down a little bit. Like there's no need for that much, and I still got like um to like tone down or like mess up a little bit of makeup because it was like uh this close to drag queen all the time. They go so hard.
I feel like it's maybe, I don't know. I feel like some faces just don't hold makeup very well.
Yeah.
Um, I, for the longest time, looked like a child that tried my mother's makeup. You know,
I had the
visual. You
I
get the
had
visual.
I had the mental image of that girl that was just like smeared like glitter and
That
like
was me.
lipstick.
That was me. I think it's because I have a baby face. So
Yeah.
anything like if you put anything harsh on my face, it seems odd. So I'm try to not do this. Like the whole like smoky eye, not for me. Like heavy eyeliner, not for me. I don't know. Fake eyelashes. I don't even want to try that. Um, I'm gonna look ridiculous. So no.
I just like as just recently started messing up with makeup again because I hadn't like cared about it since I was in like high school, I think. In high school I did like terrible makeup of like red eyeshadow and that kind of stuff. Black lipstick, red eyeshadow.
Goth vibes.
Yes. And I don't know, it was like high school, middle school, something like that. And I didn't pick up makeup until like recently. And then still haven't improved that much, but
I mean, I was not into makeup at all when I was a teenager because every single time I tried, I looked hideous. I think I just in the last few years I grew into my features, so makeup doesn't look as jarring on me anymore. But back in the day, it was a disaster, baby. It was such a disaster. That meme that you're imagining, it was me, absolutely, no question asked, no
I just
doubt.
I love that girl. Like she was living her dream with the makeup. She was feeling
That was
herself.
me. That was me.
I saw that somebody got like makeup inspired by, and it was that picture of
Girl,
the girl, but they did it like correctly. It was still cool. It was great.
someone needs to do a Halloween look based on her. I think this
Probably,
would be
yeah.
rad. I've seen so many fantastic Halloween looks. I'm like obsessed. I never do like I've never done, I mean, I've done a proper Halloween once, but it was just once, one time. And I want a big company of people just to do Halloween right. Because Halloween is usually kind of a sad holiday for me. There are people that are very excited. I'm like, I have nothing to do. So I've seen this girl on TikTok that did Jennifer Garner's character in 30 going on 13 going on 30,
Yeah.
the name of the movie. Um and she was literally a copy of her in that green dress,
Yeah.
with the butterfly pendant, copy. And I'm like, oh my god, people are so dedicated. Like it's so good. Like I literally thought it's so good. But also, like, if you don't have anywhere to go and you prepare all this, like the costume, the makeup, buy all this stuff, it kind of seems pointless.
I think like since I was a kid, like from now, the only times that I went like hard on a costume was the time, but it was like we had to make a play in school. It was terrible. It was like the Alice in Wonderland,
Mm-hmm.
and I was the Mad Hatter. I
Oh,
went
good.
so hard making my hat. I
Mm-hmm.
made it from scratch, and it
Mm-hmm.
looked so good. I think it's downstairs, like somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show it if I can find it later.
Okay.
And it's so good. I loved it, and it had like a green veil and everything. And I went to get like the costume made. My teacher went like, "You should wear a skirt." I was just like,
As a Mad Hatter?
"Excuse me, I'm the Mad
Okay.
Hatter. I need pants and a jacket." And she's like, "No, if you want to play this character, you need to wear a skirt." So I
But
had
he's
like
the guy.
I had to wear the dress. It was like a green dress with a thingy like hanging up here and like a big green bow. That's okay, kind of. Um, and then like I used that same costume for like a Halloween party. Then I did a very terrible version. Like the makeup was good. The rest of the outfit sucked. Of the crow. Uh,
Ooh.
yeah, I love that movie. So I did that one, and then I did just one for a prank in
Mm-hmm.
school. That it was we got that was totally not safe for the eyes, but I totally did it. Just like crying blood type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it. And I helped like we have to do like the skull makeup for the Day of the Dead all the time. So I did like paint a few people and myself like skulls, and that's it. I think
I
I like I don't have many people around to like that they actually like Halloween and like dressing up. Like usually none of my friends liked it, and that was sad. But one day I
same,
will find somebody to spend
same,
like
same.
Halloween.
For Halloween, we went to a party once, like a all girls party. And my girlfriend was Daphne, and I was what's her name from Scooby Doo. Uh,
Yeah.
so it was a couple costume, but otherwise never. And the only like experience wearing costumes, a lot of costumes I had is from theater because I was a theater kid in school, and never had this conflict of like boys not being allowed to wear skirts or girls not being allowed to wear um, pants. Like this is so weird for me because
Yeah.
the rule asks for it.
No, this was like because that school like we never had like theater in school. My schools here don't like promote art at all,
No.
like painting, acting. I think the only thing that was like encouraged by the government was music,
Mm.
and so we have like this the honor band called that it's just like military instruments. It's just like the drums and the trumpets.
Oh,
And every Monday when they had to do like
uh,
the pledge
parade
to the
rehearsal.
flag and everything,
Oh yeah. Hmm.
that whole bullshit, like spending an hour singing to the fucking country, and like listening to bullshit that nobody cared about. Um, that's when the band used to play, and it was the same song. It's just like the national anthem, and that's it.
Okay.
But they did like have competitions and stuff that nobody was invited to. Like if you knew people in the band, you could go, but like
Hmm.
it wasn't like the students were invited or anything. So it was just like, what is the point of it? So like if they made a play at school, it was just because one dramatic teacher asked for it.
Oh, okay.
So the entire project was under the rules of that teacher. So most teachers were like, cool. I dressed like the devil one time because I was supposed to be. There's a tradition here for Christmas that you make a play about angels, demons, and Jesus.
Sounds
So I
kinky. I
was
like
the
it.
devil. Very fitting. That was cool. That was fun. And then that's the most fun. And I was still required to wear a skirt because I
As
don't
a
know,
devil,
devil. I guess. Yeah.
devil
So
wears a skirt. Wonderful. I mean, why
we
not? But
agree on that
okay.
one. So I still like said fuck you and used like a male sounding demon name, and that was still fun. It's fun playing the devil. I went like hard on the evil performance. That was fun.
Okay.
And but like for the rest of the only thing of acting that I loved in school was in college. We had to make my God, my dogs are barking. We had to make for college a trial. We were having like some classes about law, and the teacher was like very fun. Like
Oh, so it's like role playing.
yeah, he knew like we were not going to like do anything. So the thing was, we had to improvise our cases in a single class. So I wrote the story quickly, like on that very fucking same class. I wrote the story quickly, and I was the bad guy. That was
Oh,
fun.
okay. Okay.
It was like
Uh,
it's called mock trial, I think.
yeah,
I don't know.
probably.
It was fun. And so yeah, the two times that I actually had to do a playing costume, I had to wear a skirt. So sucked.
Like it's real weird for me, but okay. I
And
mean,
heels.
and what what is this fantasy?
I
Um,
had to wear skirt, heels, and they said like you should wear like tights or something. It's just like so you're not like with your bare legs around. And I was just like,
scandal.
you know what?
Because tights and bare skin are so
Both
different.
times I used fishnets. They're tights. My legs
They
are
are
not there.
tight. They are tight.
They were so mad. It was fun.
They should
Fun
have
times.
been better with the assignment. Then you would have understood it. Okay, so we're going back to Villanelle.
Yeah.
Villanelle is trying to find someone kind
We
enough and stupid
skipped.
enough to help her.
We skipped like an entire
Well,
episode.
when?
Because the first
What?
episode, that's
Oh,
episode 2.
oh, fuck.
Yeah,
Sorry.
episode with episode 1, she's trying to
She,
find a way to the
yeah,
hospital,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
and she jumps in front of
nobody's yeah, nobody's stopping. So a taxi comes over, and she's just like jumps on it,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and the poor guy is like an immigrant, so he's
I
like
mean,
very
at the
nervous.
same time, I'm like, my dude, you would never harm a person like this. Like, she literally has a stab wound. You wouldn't be able to do this with your car.
He was panicking,
I
no
get it.
thoughts,
I
only
get
for
it.
you.
He was,
So yeah, and he like carried her into the car, and she was like being a douche, like, "Oh, if I die, it's your fault. You better know how to hide a
yeah, yeah,
body. You
yeah,
better get me
yeah.
to the hospital quickly."
Classic Villanelle. She never stops, even when she's stabbed.
Uh,
Yeah, and she ends up in a French hospital. Um, People don't know who she is. She doesn't have any documents on her, and they tell her that that they're going to call the police soon if she's not going to give any details away. Um,
just look at my baby for a
I'm
second.
looking at her. She was
Sweet
sleeping
baby,
on the other side, like a few seconds ago.
a squishy
Um,
baby.
I want to hug it. I went to my parents today simply to squeeze my cat.
Important. That is very important.
Yes, and he didn't love it. He didn't love it, and he asked me to like go outside immediately. It was like standing at the door, showing me that he wants outside. He's not going to. Uh,
They get
He's not
tired
going to take
of our
advantage
love.
of it. Yeah. So basically, she ends up in this hospital. A kind doctor tells her that he'll be willing to not call the police until his shift is over, but then someone else is going to come and they might have a different opinion. So she's dedicated to heal in like half a day. And I'm like, girl, I
But
don't
then
know if this plan
she's
is working for you.
she's not even staying still. She's like
Yeah,
moving
yeah,
all over the fucking place, and she's expecting to feel better to leave. And they
yeah.
give her like medicine.
Medication, yeah, and she's not taking it.
Yeah, because like I guess she doesn't want to fall asleep or
To
anything.
knock out that,
But
yeah, to be knocked out.
the antibiotics, come on, you need to take those.
Yeah, she could have asked what's in it.
Well, and the nurse, I think she
Um,
tried, but the nurse just like gave her the
oh,
pills and
forget
left.
that.
So
Okay. And she meets this guy, that poor guy, whose whole family died. He had like a surgery in his face, an
yeah,
eye,
he
and
lost
all
an
his
eye and
eye,
had like
yeah, his
skin grafts on
eyeball.
his face. Poor thing. But
Yeah,
it's
and
still the sense of humor of those two was unsettling.
I mean, she never changes.
Yeah,
That's
consistent.
she's consistent in being a dick. And like she teases him a lot and is trying to ask him if he has money because she needs money, obviously, to get out of the situation. Um, and like she's spending some time in the hospital. We're going to leave her there, talk about Eve for a
Yeah.
second. Eve is one of the most interesting killers, in my opinion. As in, like, she's not a killer yet, but she's like, I mean, it's realistic to be nervous about stabbing someone, I guess, but she's completely out of it. Completely out of it. First of all, she does think that she stabbed Eve for good. Oh, Eve, Villanelle for good.
Yeah.
So she thinks that Villanelle actually, like, died. But also, you've seen her disappear. She probably run. You know that. So, I mean, like, obviously she didn't see her after, so she doesn't know. But she's very, very shifty. And considering how serious the situation is, both of their behaviors are so funny to me. Like, it's specifically written to be comedic because she's at the airport and she forgot to throw out the knife. So she decides to break the line, go to the toilet, and throw out the knife the way you would throw a tampon. She just wraps it in toilet paper and just throws it.
Well, it's a thing with blood.
It's funny. Also, she does step on some pee,
Lovely.
which is a
That's what you
very
get for running around a public bathroom in socks. She just flopped over.
so cute. Oh yeah, so she steps on pee. I think it's very important because when I saw that, I cringed. I
Yeah.
actively cringed out loud. Um, but I don't think she cares at this point. The guy chastises her at the belt that she like ran off, but she says that she had like a food poisoning or something. And then she's like completely out of it the whole time, like the whole trip back to home to London. And the whole time, like we see her like I don't know what to call this. Um, dissociate. Like she's dissociating a lot.
Yeah.
This woman at the bar starts talking to her. She's immediately paranoid, thinks that she's one of the 12 or something. Um, Turns out this woman is an alcoholic, like an ex-alcoholic, or a drug user. I'm not sure. Uh, like Eve, I don't know how people do not see it, but she acts completely out of it. And we see her like cutting vegetables, and she cuts so much. And her husband is like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah." And he's like just accepting it as fact.
I've seen many crises like that. I found it like specifically like funny. The pile of candy that she gets, she's just like grabbing things without thinking. And I have seen like actual people like having a bit of like a nervous breakdown. Like uh my I think it was like uh, not my yeah, it was one of my teachers that nearly like had a car crash, and she just like stormed into class, and she was like starting to talk like really fast and trying to focus on like the class, the like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the subject she was talking about, and we're
Mm-hmm.
like, ma'am, uh it's the wrong class, like
Mm-hmm.
you're on the wrong day at the wrong hour here, ma'am.
Poor,
Are you,
poor woman.
ma'am? And she's like, okay, I think just like I crashed out there. And like, to be fair, crashing in this city has an extra layer of worry, because if you crash into the wrong person, you're out.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
You're done for.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like nervous, like holding her bag and everything, and just like, sorry, ma'am. And so it's like desperately trying to do something normal to like
Mm-hmm.
distract herself. So she's like panicking and cooking like a fuck ton of food, and she didn't even like remember
Mm-hmm.
to bring out the chicken.
I
And
mean, I was in a car crash once, and I gotta tell you that nerves immediately frayed. Like
yeah,
you're. I mean, specifically, like it was not huge. Like it was nothing, but you get so pumped on adrenaline
yeah,
that after, like my car was okay, so I could ride after. I was like scared to drive because I thought that I immediately am going to get into another car crash. So it's definitely like you're definitely not okay in that moment. You're like
yeah.
kind of like expecting the worst, and the shock is still lingers for like an hour or so. So like I get it, it's that the other people around her are like, oh, Eve is acting weird, but that's fine for Eve, like, okay. Which was weird for me. She's also straight up lying to Carolyn, and Carolyn knows it. And it was funny for me. She's like, okay, whatever.
And like Eve thought she was like fired because of what happened. Like even before that, she when she went to Paris, she thought she was already like fired because
Yeah,
of
she
what
didn't
happened
care.
with Constantine and the
Mm-hmm.
other guy. What was his name? Vlad,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And very traditional vampire name. And
It's actually a very common name.
I know, it's just like when you say Juan, like a billion here.
Yeah.
And there's this. Oh my God, my head is really empty today. Jesus. Head empty, no thoughts. I lost
What
the
do you
track of
want
what I
to
was going
say?
to say. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Well, Nico shows up and like he immediately realizes like something is off, but he's still like kind of trying to talk to her and like trying to
Mm-hmm.
fix things. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, sir, please just leave. You can just like go. There's no need.
I mean,
But
I don't know what she needs in the moment because she's like very shaken.
it's just that she always seems so like she doesn't want to talk to him, and oftentimes looks annoyed when he
That's
asks.
true. That's
It's just
true.
like she needs to talk, just not to him. And so far, we haven't seen like a specific reason why, but it's mostly because um, on the other episode, when they're like kind of talking now, he still like says like, "Oh, you have a heart after all," or like this little remarks that are like kind of annoying in the long run.
I feel like they never had a good relationship.
No, and there's such a different perspective. Like for instance, I can say, "Oh, you know what? I climbed this mountain. I didn't reach the top, but I climbed this mountain." and somebody will be like, "Oh my God, what the fuck were you doing? Like you could have like broken something," or just like focusing entirely on what could have
On the
gone
negative.
wrong,
Hmm.
that you're completely ignoring that, hey, I climbed a fucking mountain. So,
Yeah, that's
and
a type of person.
yes, that's my sister.
That's my father.
It's just like everything is fucking wrong. Jesus Christ.
Um, what I found interesting also is that she immediately, obviously regretted what she's done.
Yeah,
Um, and I don't know if she truly, like, it seems like she truly believes that she killed her, but at the same
yeah.
time, I'm like, maybe you hope. Like, it seems like she's very, I don't know how to explain it, especially in the like later episodes. It doesn't seem like she's okay with it being done, you know?
Yeah,
Like she went there for it to be done. She went there to kill her and like for the whole their connection to be over. But it doesn't seem like she let go of that yet, even if in her mind Villanelle is dead. You know what I mean?
that was also like I think the comparison that the lady at the airport saw, that she's like, you look very anxious, like
Mhm.
a junkie waiting for the next hit.
Mhm.
So I think Elaine, she laughs and she's like, "Ma'am, that's kind of it. You are, because it's like I don't know, for if it's not like a very good analogy, but it's like if you have somebody that is like on drugs and you dump all their drugs down the drain, they're going to be like very upset and very anxious. So it's like the idea of that, of losing that thing that you're addicted to. Also, it's a lot of complicated emotions in a single like scene, because she's like, I have never killed somebody and I finally kind of killed
Mhm.
somebody. I kind of
Mhm.
crossed over that line. And then she's like, I should be happy because of what she did. My God, my sister's screaming. And I should be happy because well, she killed my friend Bill, and
Yeah.
then she's like, she's a killer, I shouldn't feel bad, but then again, I don't want to kill anybody, and especially like I don't want to kill her. What I'm gonna
Yeah,
do
yeah.
without her? So it's like a mix of all of those, and she doesn't even know how to process that, and she's trying to like, and we have seen that behavior in her, like uh trying very hard to act normal, to pretend like she can just like go back into her life before everything, and that it
Mhm.
hasn't changed anything. So that's exactly what she gets into immediately when gets back. In fact, they show you that she hadn't taken a shower. Her hands was still had blood on them when she
Mhm.
was like trying to cook. She was
Mhm.
like singing to the song on the radio and like trying to like, just like focus on.
What happened?
My sister is shouting downstairs, and she released her dog, so it's running around the house, and they're like, my dog wants to be friends with her dog, but her dog always bites her when she sees her. So yeah, it's very
Poor
sad.
baby.
My baby wants friends, but my the other two dogs that live in my house are not that friendly. So like the big
Awful.
one is just like, he gets annoyed very fast. He's just like, she's trying to play and he goes like, "Ruff." It just like gives like those kind of warning
Aw.
barks, and she's like, oh, and like goes away. And this one goes straight for the throat. She's so small and violent. She, oh my God, she's like those tiny fluffy dogs that like
Oh yeah, got it.
with white fur, like very
Yeah,
fluffy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's tiny and floofy and
Uh-huh.
full of evil,
Uh-huh.
but I love her as well. So I just gotta love them separately. And my baby, oh, if
Uh,
you could see her, she's just like, oh, I'm gonna try to show
okay.
you. Just like, she's waiting by the door.
Oh, baby.
She wants friends.
Let her go.
I can't.
Let
There will
her
be bloody murder.
outside. So I want to talk about some dialogues that Villanelle has with this guy that she meets in the hospital.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, hilarious. Second of all, the delusion, the amount of delusion that this woman has is astonishing to me. So basically,
She,
what happens? They ask each other about how they got their wounds, basically.
yeah.
And she says that her girlfriend stabbed her because apparently she loved her too much.
Well, that's one way to spin it, I guess. But she's, ma'am, stabbing is not romantic. Can you like nod, ma'am?
I don't know. The leaps of logic, the leaps. I'm.
I have no idea what it is.
I don't
Yeah.
know how rational. She just wants to go back to
Yeah.
sleep since you cut out on the fun. Um.
Of Mortal Kombat. That's the fun that I want to let you have.
So basically, I don't understand how a person goes from this person stabs me to this person stabbed me because they love me.
It's. I think. Uh, Villanelle is just happy to find somebody that gives back the same energy. It's just like you stalk me, I stalk you.
Quid pro
You
quo.
try to kill me, I try to kill you. That kind of vibe. To her, true love. Somebody that like returns her vibe.
The most important part in relationship is reciprocation.
Exactly. So
Mhm.
to her, this is peak romantic stuff. It's some romantic
And
shit.
like the way
My baby's sleeping.
she comes up with this reason is just like that. It's like so quick. She's immediately like, she stabbed me because she loves me.
Yeah.
It's like,
Uh, that okay. Yes. That's that's as far as her logic goes. So
also she calls her not just a friend, not just
yeah,
a
straight
friend.
up, yeah, straight up a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And the kid is so confused. It's like, ma'am, what do you mean that she stabbed you because she cares? Ma'am, can you explain that?
Hmm.
And she even goes to like, oh, is that you don't understand? That's when people really care about each other. Just like, stop trying to justify this shit, ma'am. And she's set on trying to escape to go to Eve, and I just find it so fucking terrible and funny, that entire humor in the hospital where she goes into like she sends the poor kid that is very wounded out to find a white what is it, a white coat and a lanyard, and then goes into another room. It's just like, oh, doctor, you're the specialist. Yeah, tell me what's going on. She's like, oh, your husband is getting better.
Better.
Are you sure that man is still alive?
Honestly, this whole episode is a comedy special.
Yes, I mean it's terrible, but it's so funny. But it's terrible, but it's so funny. And
And she kills the guy, which like I expected from her, but I still felt sad because it felt like they actually connected.
it's just
And
that
it's clear now
actually
that's what she is, I think.
it's like this kid had such a terrible this is one of the episodes to display how Villanelle does have emotions. She just, and like she does have a level of empathy. She just has it like a
Poor,
very
poor judgment.
twisted version of it. She's like, well, this kid has no family. He's like like he's been like deformed. So I'm gonna help you, and just like snaps his neck. And he's like, well, she did that after the kid said like he wished he had died in the accident with his parents.
I
And
mean, it's not
she
true.
well, no, of
It's
course, he like
absolutely
he's in
not
grief.
true.
but
She
it's
has
like,
poor judgment in general. Like,
yeah, but it's like what she, like Anna said, that Villanelle is like very literal. So it's like, oh, you're just with your husband because he has a dick. And it was just like, okay, I'm gonna chop it off.
she said, snip,
So
snip.
snip, snip, motherfuckers. And then, well, the kid said like, oh, I wish I was dead. So she's like, okay, nyeh.
Yeah, and she also leaves an apple with this guy. And I
All
was
the
like,
little signatures.
this signature is the most obvious, the most
Yeah,
unoriginal stuff I've ever seen. And when Eve, oh yeah, Eve, that I was like, oh, who? Eve. When Eve actually Googles it at some point, I don't think it was in the first or the second episode, but later she Googles what an apple means.
it's
I'm
on
like,
the same. I think that's on episode 2, maybe.
I don't
That
remember when exactly, but she Googles it, and I'm like, ma'am, are we being stupid right now? Like,
it's just
Eve,
in case.
the
It's just in
apple,
case somebody in the audience didn't
it's
pick it
very
up.
clear, it's very
It's
obvious.
very obvious.
Like,
I don't know, just in case maybe somebody wasn't like not familiar with the whole like Eve and the
with the
apple.
Bible,
Maybe there's people that are not like familiar with it. Maybe, I guess.
whomst,
And
whomst among us.
no idea. And oh, she gets back. Like Carolyn picks her back up to like get back to work, and then Carolyn takes her to see this corpse of this man, Alexander Pierce. That's still the first episode, right? Let me check. Oh yeah, yeah. Did you notice what
What?
I saw when Carolyn greeted that woman in the morgue? You know how Carolyn has a particular way of like greeting people that she has a thing with or had a thing with? And then she greets
No.
this lady in the morgue and was just like, is there something there?
Explain. I don't
The
remember.
lady, like, for instance, like they hug very like closely.
Intimately?
Yes, and then the lady just says, "Oh, you smell so good," and just like,
Okay.
I see now."
I'm seeing this.
And then like they start like chatting immediately, and go to like this lady has a mini bar in a refrigerator for corpses. Interesting, smart.
I'm sure they all do.
Yeah. And then so I saw a thing there. Like go back later and watch that scene. It's just like I see
I will.
something there.
I will.
And I just love how very casually they sprinkled over all the affairs that Caroline has had over the years.
I mean, Carolyn is. I mean, I feel like she loves the manses. She loves men. Like, it's like, it feels
She
like she had way too many. I mean, she's in middle age, so maybe not that
she was
many, but
in
like
it
a
for
lot
a
of
good
them.
time.
Yeah.
And she's had a good time. She still does.
She still does have a good time on the daily, as far as we know, because Kenny has to constantly confront a different naked man in their kitchen.
Just how that's what you get for living with your single mother.
Oh yeah.
Just scarred for life. Poor kid. Well, not a kid. He's not a kid, but poor guy.
Still.
There are things. Well, it can be worse than what he read on the. Well, it can be worse. It can be a lot more. I was
I
going to
hope
say
he
it can
didn't
be
read.
worse. He can be surprised after what he read on those letters, but there's one thing reading it than actually like hearing it or like seeing it. So poor guy.
Mhm.
And what else was in the morgue?
Mm-hmm.
They show the corpse, and the first thing that Eve says is just like, I want some burgers. And I actually started craving burgers, but it was like 4 a.m.,
I
so
actually
sad
wanted.
times.
I want a burger right now. If you're being honest, like the moment you said burgers, I'm like,
Burgers.
I love a burger. Actually, I can order one, but no, I have produce in my kitchen. I have to eat
My,
food that I actually buy.
yeah, we can do the same with books that we do with food. Like, you actually have to like eat
Yeah,
what you bought.
it's
And
an issue if we're being honest. Since I started living alone, I started. I mean, I lived with my parents in a house that you couldn't get any like you couldn't order anything to because it doesn't have an address. So I never took out well I took out like orders myself, but I never like ordered to the house. And now when I'm living alone in an actual apartment that has an address, it's bad. Like it's bad. The takeout bills are getting like big. And like I'm also buying produce and I can't cook. I don't know what's happening. But I'm like, I can cook a mediocre meal, or I can order some restaurant level shit and eat. So
um,
problem.
it is understandable. Yes, it's a big problem. Um, I was like brought up with the talent to make a meal out of like anything in the kitchen. So even if like my siblings can fucking cook, like they know how to cook like maybe two things each, and that's it. But like my mom was like, okay, you're going to learn because somebody has to learn in this house. And so I made like last night, awake in the middle of the night, I made like spring rolls, and
Mm,
I made
spring rolls.
it, what was it, like spring rolls and some like soup, but it's like with pasta. It's just like
Hmm.
more liquid pasta and with
No, why?
vegetables.
It's a soup. There are soups with pasta in it.
Yeah, yeah. And I forgot about that for a second. It's just that that's pretty much, if you say soup in Mexico, it's like 90% of the time that type, that it's just like pasta with some tomato sauce and like, but diluted with water and like other stuff,
Hmm.
and that's it. Like if you order soup in Mexico, that's most of the time where you're gonna get.
I
um
think like 70% of Russian cuisine is soup. So we have like different varieties of soup. Like
Here it's everything is,
most of them I don't like because it has cabbage and I hate cabbage.
I just remember like Villanelle saying, you smell like cabbage.
Yeah.
But like everything, like most of the dishes in Mexico are the same ingredients in different presentations.
Mm.
It's just like corn, like corn dough, like
Tomatoes.
what is it, like tortillas, what is it? Tortillas, empanadas, flautas. Everything is just like a corn tortilla with like beans, cheese, and something else, like a type of meat, and you can have like five dishes that are like totally different, that have the exact same ingredients. It's just
Mm.
ridiculous, but delicious. So, and it is different, like the presentation of the tortilla matters.
I'm not going to argue. You seem very passionate about it.
Oh, just tortillas. Anyway,
Okay,
let's go back
sure.
to killing you.
I love corn. I have nothing to add to this conversation. Um, so, what were we talking about? Oh, so they're presented with a
In the
new
morning.
body, yeah, and they're thinking that it might be Villanelle, but since Eve is claiming that Villanelle is dead, it might be someone else, and we know actually that it's someone else. We just don't know
Yeah.
who.
It's well, like at that point, Caroline just asks, "Is like, is Villanelle still alive? Like,
Yeah.
what happened in Paris?"
Mhm.
And I just that entire scene and every conversation she has with Eve on those episodes is just delightful to me. I love Caroline's character. She's like, you can stop pretending to be like very innocent and very affected by this whole thing. We
Mhm.
both know you love this job, so you're going to
Mhm.
keep going. And
Mhm.
we both know you did something dumb in Paris. I'm not gonna dig in because I'm not going to give you any information either about what I did.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's like, how about we just continue working?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then they see the corpse and they eventually figure out that he was killed by injecting an air bubble into the
Mhm.
bloodstream, like via the toenail. So
Yes.
it's like the pedicure artist is the, what is it, like a beautician?
Well, a person that has like access to his legs.
Yeah. So, and we see actually like she starts. I don't know. That's the next episode. That she starts talking about how it has to be somebody that is pretty much invisible to everybody, but on plain sight. So it's like a cleaning lady, like somebody that is older, that it's uh, probably an immigrant.
Mhm.
So, and we actually, as she's like listing those things, we see the ghost, as they call her,
Mhm.
operate.
Mhm.
So they bring a new team. There's like Kenny again. We love
Mhm.
Kenny, and there's this a new woman and a new guy. And the guy
I've seen before on
is,
other shows.
I haven't seen him. I think
He's
like
in
the lady has seen her before.
he's in the Discovery of Witches.
I haven't seen
That's where
it.
I've seen him.
Mm. I saw the lady on like other shows. I think like Doctor Who and
Oh,
Good
I've not.
Omens.
I've never seen it.
I think yeah, I think I definitely saw her in Good Omens. Um, and then she's they hired Eve as the expert on female assassins. So she begins talking about Villanelle, and it's so obvious. What is it?
I don't know why, but for some reason I thought you were going to say an expert on female anatomy.
Oh God.
Sorry, my
Well,
mind is in the gutter.
understandable. Well, she is an expert on Villanelle's anatomy. The entire focus of the first episode being her tits.
Okay,
The first few episodes.
so let's talk about episode 2.
Yeah,
Sure. Villanelle escapes the hospital, and she escapes in the best fashion choice ever that she's ever done, that she's ever made, and that the wardrobe department ever made. That pajama is iconic. I think at this point you
definitely.
can cosplay Villanelle in this pajama. I think it would be very recognizable. Also, she has Crocs on.
Somebody else's dirty Crocs on. I loved her face in
Better send
pain when she
pictures.
was putting them on. And you cannot, like, I cannot tell if she was in pain because they were used or
Probably the
because they
Crocs.
were Crocs.
It's the Crocs.
The
I think
Crocs
it's the
alone
Crocs.
cause pain in
Well,
her
and she
soul.
has like a briefcase with her. Iconic. Honestly,
Yes,
iconic.
that could definitely be a Halloween costume. That was great. Um, she kind of hitchhikes to a gas station,
Yeah.
uh, and then hears a family speaking with like an English accent. She's like, "Oh, perfect." So she goes
Jumps
around the
into
back
the trunk of the
and
car.
throws her shit away and just like stays there. And it's a very subtly smart choice because if you know they have children to worry about,
Hmm.
they're probably not going to check the trunk of the car first. So there's time to like make an escape, but still, it was kind of risky,
Yeah.
as everything
I
that she does.
mean, what would you do if you like saw an injured woman in the trunk of your car? Like you won't stop her again, you know?
Yeah, fair enough.
She has an advantage of being a pretty woman,
Yeah, and
in
she can
general.
play the victim very easily.
Yeah, so like if she looked like a homeless guy, she would have been in
In
more
danger.
trouble, I think, yeah. But when it comes to like, and there's a flipping point there because we're going to talk about this in this episode because her looks actually attract another predator, and the show for like an episode becomes a horror. Um, so that was actually very interesting. Uh, she goes into the laundromat and she like washes her clothes, steals some clothes. I think did she steal
Yeah, she's
clothes?
stealing some. She's stealing some clothes, and while she was asleep, like she passed out. Somebody stole all the medication she had in the bag
Fucking
that she
assholes.
stole. And the lady at the laundromat is just
Show
an
her
asshole.
the sign. Hmm.
Like she's like, "Wake up! You can't sleep here." And she's like, "This is not a homeless shelter." And like, my bag, everything in my bag is just like,
Sorry.
it's it's not my business.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
just love how petty she is. Like she steals the clothes from the hamper, and then before running out, dumps an entire like container of like, what is it, like
Detergent.
powder
Detergent.
soap? Yeah, detergent. And then rushes out.
Hmm.
Petty, loved her.
I mean, it's
Great.
very villanelle. You would expect her to do this kind of thing. So she ends up in a supermarket looking for help. Obviously, because she doesn't have medication, her wound is like still dangerous for her. So
Yeah,
she's looking for people that are going to help, and everyone is so. At the same time, I was like, these people are so bad. Like they literally do not want to help a person that is literally seems to be like in trouble. But at the
yeah,
same time, like no sane person would help a stranger in such a significant way. Like usually people like I don't even know if I would have uh, allowed someone in my house. I don't know this person.
yeah.
Like I could have given her money or like um, told her where to go, where she could get help. And I
Like
feel like that's a rational response.
at the very least, I would have like okay, come with me to like the pharmacy section and grab what you need, and I'll pay for it. Just
Yeah,
like grab some like the antibiotics or whatever you can get on that is like over the counter, because I don't think she's going to get a prescription.
yeah.
And just like that's it. That's what I can help you with, and maybe like something to eat, and off you go. But I'm not entirely sure what she was after. Like she was after money. She was after like somebody to
Well, I
like.
think shelter, money,
Yeah,
medication, anything she could get. Also, and it's immediately interesting that they show a person that is caring that turns out to be an abuser.
yeah,
And it's like, I know that it's not an empathetic theory, but I don't believe that a lot of people help out of the goodness of their heart in general. Like, there are a lot of helpers that are doing it for their own either ego or to like get into this whole power trip.
yeah. And it's just that in order to for her to find help, she had to make herself look like actually scared and vulnerable, and that is like blood in the water for sharks. It's
Yeah,
just like you look vulnerable and desperate, and there are some motherfuckers that are just gonna run right into
yeah.
like grab you, and that's just horrible.
I think this episode is interesting because it's such a contrast to who we know her as a person. And
Yeah,
I think it shows her like she might have been that when she was younger. You know what I mean?
yeah. Like, she was very weak because of her injury, and she was very vulnerable and very helpless this entire episode. Like, I think this is the first episode where we see her as a person that is completely like alone and has no resources. As opposite like to the other seasons that we like the other season where she seems so capable and so strong, like she can make it out of anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
This episode was completely like everything went
Mm-hmm.
wrong for her in that episode, and it's like very distressing. Actually, like that episode, I don't like watching it, even if like the it is like very good episode. And actually, I noticed like two things. First of all, um, I never like look at the credits or anything on the episode. And this time I looked and I saw who I don't know if directed or like wrote the episode, and it was Emerald Fennell. She's the woman that directed Promising Young Woman. And
Oh,
I had no idea she had made like episodes of Killing Eve, and I can see like her take
influences.
on this episode, that it's kind of a like a very unsettling and disturbing comedy at times, but sometimes serious. That it's just like you don't know where the to draw the line where this is getting really like terrifying and upsetting, especially because we're supposed to think that Villanelle is invincible, that she's fearless, that she's
Mm-hmm.
like, of course she can take this fucking guy. And we don't like actually think she's in danger until like we see that he's even like letting her get sicker and sicker, and
On
purposefully
purpose.
like neglecting bringing her any medicine or anything. And that the second thing that I realized is that I forgot who the creep was. That is Julian Barrett.
Okay.
That is a comedian, a British comedian. That remember when I mentioned that
He
spicy
does
book
look. He
saga?
does look familiar.
Well, I read this spicy book saga called Stockholm Syndrome.
Okay.
That was based on a music video that was
Oh
based
no!
on two guys. It's him. It's him. So I read three books that were like pretty much like erotica with a character based on that man. To be fair, the character in the book is supposed to be like the younger version of him.
I mean,
Relatively younger. He was like supposed
he's
to be
not
still like
ugly.
in
He's
30s,
not
30s.
ugly. That's not the point. Um, how like how many kills do we think he has at this point? Like, I'm pretty sure that he
Yeah.
killed people in the past. I'm pretty sure that there are women somewhere like buried on like
The
on
backyard or something.
in the backyard, like on the like his territory, maybe under the floors. Um,
Is there's there is no indication that he has done this before, but he seems so at ease with what he's doing, and like he has a method. So it's like, okay, not the first time either. So
yeah, at first he's kind of he seems very reluctant, and it seems like Villanelle is the one that
has control.
convinces him, yeah, and
Yeah.
has control. But it flips very quickly, and he's very confident in what he's doing. And if it starts mildly creepy, like he's just awkward or something, it
Yeah.
immediately escalates. Specifically, like it becomes really scary when he starts to deprive her from medication, when he puts his fingers in her mouth, when
Uh,
he's like, and like
disgusting.
you immediately get that he's trying to keep her, like to keep her weak and in this house, and probably kill her at some point
Yeah.
when he takes the phone away from her.
And that's because again, in cases like this, I think killing is the least of the problems, because there are so many cases of men like this that have kept women for like
For
decades.
years. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
and so killing is the least of my fears
I
in that
mean,
scenario.
he's keeping his mother in the attic. And
Yeah,
like, I'm almost sure that his mother can live separately, but he's not allowing that to happen, and maybe
yeah.
tampers with her medication. Like, it seems to be a pattern for him. Also, uh like, the whole phone thing, I think, is the last straw, because there's no reason for her to not call someone. Like, keeping up with the story, she tells him that uh someone, her husband abuses her, her father abuses her, or
A
something.
stepfather. Yeah.
Stepfather. And like, she has nowhere to go because he's a policeman.
No,
There's
the police. The on the hospital, on the French hospital, she said that her husband hurt her and that he was part of the.
Yeah, yeah,
He
police
was a
force.
detective, so that's why like she couldn't. They couldn't call the police. And then this one, it's just that moment where you think she's the one lying to him in the car when she's like saying, "Oh, I don't have friends. I don't have family either. I don't have anyone." So, without really knowing, because she's the one lying and
Yeah,
trying to get the
yeah,
best of him, he's getting all the information he needs to know that, oh, if I take you, nobody's going to look for
yeah,
you.
yeah. She's the perfect victim.
So horrifying. And how easily you let vital information slip in front of somebody because they look harmless.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is something like that director, like Emerald Fennell, does on her like stories, like in Promising Young Woman and this one. It's just that how dangerous can be sometimes, even men that look like harmless, and that appearances have nothing to do with what somebody's capable of.
Mm-hmm,
And she he gives the illusion of her not being locked up.
mm-hmm,
Yes, like you see the bars and the windows and everything, and
mm-hmm.
he's like, "Oh yeah, it's because my mother wanders around and I cannot let her leave because she has dementia." And then when he lives and that she's starting to feel panicked, that she tries every window and nothing opens. So
Mm-hmm.
the entire house is sealed, but she can wander around within the house. And since she's so weak, she's not like she can grab just anything to defend herself. She tries to like hit him with like things that are lying around, but it's an actual like uh, stressing fighting scene when she finally snaps. And it's short after that she was trying to use the phone that he comes back and then like goes to leave again. And she has to like quickly make up the story about she was ordering cake or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Which completely doesn't track.
yeah. So, but she just loses it because she's like exhausted of him and kicks him in the face. And
I
that
mean,
that
it was very satisfying when she finally managed to like fight him off. Um, but the episode itself is very upsetting, especially because, like, first of all, I do think that he has other victims, and
yeah,
second of all, like, his mother absolutely is already like brainwashed and a victim.
yeah.
Like, in a rare moment, she does tell Villanelle that she should be careful with her son.
But
Like,
she's
she's fully aware, but she's at the same time is like, no, but he's a good boy,
yeah,
because he brainwashed her, because he told her that he's the only one that's going to care for her and no one
yeah,
cares.
exactly. Well, there's still an unsettling amount of it happens often when the mothers of criminals often make excuses for them.
I
So like,
mean,
but he's a good boy, but he didn't mean to. He's not in his right mind. He was just upset. This is not him. That sort of thing. There is a bit of a pattern of mothers trying to excuse the crimes of their sons.
I
Uh,
mean, I feel like it's a natural response to, like,
yeah,
especially if you see a person in a certain way, it's really hard to assume a different point of view, because usually, like, in these situations, this person is like, has no, like, doesn't let any and like doesn't let any like bad stuff happen to their immediate family.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for them to see this person in like in that way.
Yeah. And there's also like that character is so creepy and so well like made because he never like even raises his voice until like the end, and he was
Yes.
like just mildly annoyed. He
They
sounds like somebody that is like, oh my god, I can't believe you left the, I don't know, the garbage outside and something like that. Just like he sounds mildly annoyed. He's not yelling, he's not throwing around threats.
he also tries to make like he's not treating her as a woman or like a human. He
Yeah.
treats her as a doll in a
Yeah.
way, and like he talks to her in a very like
Childlike voice.
yeah, childlike voice, like the way you would talk to a small child. And
Yes.
also the hottie body took me out. Literally, I was like, run, run.
Oh Lord,
This
yeah.
guy is going to kill you. He's going to make a doll out of you. Run.
The second, exactly. The second they walk like for the first time into the house, and it's full of dolls. That's like, no, that's gonna be a big no for me. Thank you. And then he's just like straightening one of the dolls and calling her like by her name. Just like, I'm just going to leave, just like quietly walk out of
Red
the place.
flags, red flags everywhere. Like
Yeah,
everywhere.
I
Like
think
that's
just no, terrible. And as always, having pastimes helps because this is totally a weapon.
oh yeah. I mean
So,
everything can be a weapon
a
if you
weapon,
try
yeah.
hard enough. Um
But knitting needles save the day.
yes, obviously. A knife would
Stabby
help.
stab, stab.
So she escapes, but first, before that, before she escapes, she actually calls the police, not the police, the department where Eve supposedly works.
She
And
tried. She tried calling like the emergency number that she has from the 12, and they're like, "We don't fucking know you. Good day,"
yeah,
and hang
yeah,
up on her. So she tries to get to Eve, but
hmm
I can imagine that it must be very difficult trying to contact MI6.
yeah.
So
Well,
tough.
they actually do. They do be finding her at the end,
Yes.
but they miss her by
It's so
second.
frustrating because on the first episode, uh, Eve walks right past where Villanelle is hiding, and on this
Yeah.
episode, again, Villanelle just
They
drives
do
past
this a
her.
lot. They do this a lot in this season. Like
Uh,
we have a couple of more episodes where they do this. It is
teasing.
frustrating
Terrible.
and annoying because the seasons go kind of the same way. You get first two episodes where they don't interact at all.
Yeah.
It's kind of all internal character work, and then at the end of the season, they finally are together, and we get scenes with them together.
Yeah.
Every single season working the same way.
They better give me season 4.
When they are together,
They better.
they
Because
better be
it's the last
together.
season. Come on.
Otherwise, it's fucking stupid and useless.
Yes, especially because they went ahead with like promising that they would be together from the fucking start by establishing what kind of relationship it is. Y'all promised me you cannot take it back, you cannot take it away. Don't. They better give me what I want. I need more of that season 3 dance floor scene.
Oh, it was so good.
I need 10 episodes of that. Thank you. Everything else can just like blow up. I don't care. Just give me that. Give me the good shit. Give me the good stuff.
I mean, at least give me one episode where everything is right, you know? Just one.
Just one, at least.
Yeah, so
Oh god.
they miss each other, and Villanelle gets into a car that is obviously waiting for her, and there's a new handler in that car for her,
Raymond.
Raymond. What a character!
He
I
looks so creepy
actually,
though.
I actually loved him as a character because he's different, you know.
Yeah.
He's different. He's like this unassuming dad with some like really deep complexes about the way like life turned out for him, you know?
Yeah.
And he's extremely violent about this.
Yes. Because I think he is the closest thing I we have seen in the organization to Villanelle. Like that man is there because he loves killing, not because
Yeah.
he needs money or like
Oh
anything
yeah.
else. He's
Yeah.
there because he loves killing, and I think Constantine even says that later on that he's like he doesn't get paid. He takes the jobs if he gets to kill the person at the end.
I mean, I'm sure he's getting paid, not for
Yeah,
extermination though. Um, but the guy clearly loves his job, and he's not fucking around. He's like immediately like is like establishes that he's the boss in that car. And
yeah,
since Villanelle is weak still at the moment, she can't like it's not Constantine with whom she can play games.
yeah,
It's like a whole different dynamic. And she's been fucked over this whole episode, so it's like another person to do this to her. Um,
yeah.
so she's currently in a very vulnerable position.
I hate that scene where he's like choking her against the car window. It's just like after everything, and then this motherfucker also treats her like this. I'm gonna start stabbing people myself. I'm
I
sick.
mean,
I'm tired.
it is expected. I don't know why we expect the 12 to be polite society, you know?
It's just that she was very spoiled by Constantine. Like
Yeah, yeah,
Constantine, if it had been Constantine in that car, that man would have brought her like food, clothes,
yeah,
medicine, and he'll
yeah,
be like, "Okay, you take a nap. I'm gonna drive, and you sleep."
yeah.
Like,
He's a different kind of handler.
yeah, he's practically her dad.
Yeah.
So like we see the big difference, and I think it was until that moment that she real because she was like being very like herself, like very rude to Raymond. So I think it was until that moment that she truly realized that they actually don't care about her, that they are going to,
Yeah, yeah.
she's just an asset, and that she's like she should be grateful that they even considered picking her up again. So sad.
She, due to how her personality is, she thought that she's special.
Yeah,
And from starting from that moment, I think the illusion starts to break because we see a lot of different sides of the 12 and the people that work for the 12. And it seems more and more clear that there are other killers that work for the 12. And even though Villanelle is good, they can replace her at any moment.
yeah. So I don't like that episode very much, but I do like it. It's weird.
I
I just don't
mean,
like seeing it often.
I love this episode because it gives Villanelle more complexity and
Yeah,
we see her vulnerabilities. I think um, she's most vulnerable when her pride is at stake.
yeah,
And in this episode, her pride is especially at stake because she relies a lot on being the top dog. And in this episode, there are two men that are basically like dominating her in every aspect. So tough to be her. She could have been saved by Eve, but she wasn't because they missed each other.
I could have sworn there was a fanfic of like Eve got to her first. I
Mm.
remember seeing that like description, but I will have to look for it. If I find it, I will send it to you. But uh, I kept thinking about that myself, like, oh my god, it would have been so much better if Eve got to her first, especially
Yeah.
because they were already like considering that they could like Villanelle could know something about the new killer that it's out there, so like trade information for something, and it could have been great, but it's fine. It will be better. Everything will be better after this. Great.
Mm-hmm. Um, Eve in the meantime is looking for the mysterious killer, for the mysterious new killer. They have this theories, whatever. It's not very interesting. And one of the other big things that are happening on in this episode is the revelation that Constantine is alive
Yeah.
and he's in Carlin's house.
I love
So,
Kenny. He was just so mad. He
mhm,
just went upstairs to his room. Oh, also there's this because technically it's a very important plot point. I just
mhm.
don't care much about him. There's this guy. What's his name? The villain of the entire like season. The son of Alexander Pierce. Peel. No, Peel. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like the son of the guy that just died. What's his name? I can't remember.
Yeah, I got you. I understand what you're talking about. I just forgot. What's his name?
Well, it's like he's there and he's an asshole.
The rich tech guy.
Yeah, and then there's the sister that
Mhm.
well, she's not really that important in
I
general to
mean,
the story.
she's sort
She's
of,
there,
yeah, she
a way
allowed
in.
them a way in into this family.
I can't remember. Oh my god, I can't remember the guy's name.
Google it. I have no power in me to do it.
My god.
Was he presented? Was he introduced in this episode?
Yeah.
Oh, it was kind of the first time I watched the show, I didn't even make the connection between him and him later in later episodes because I kind
Oh,
of forgot about him. I thought, oh, that's just like a rude tech guy. Who cares, you know?
Aaron.
But yeah, Aaron, and now I remember that Eve and the other operative went to see him
Oh
um
my god, this
in his
guy has
office.
an impressive mustache.
Show me. Show me. Is it a porn stash?
No, it's kind of like period piece mustache.
Oh, okay.
He could take he could win the mustache contest against Nico. That's a
Okay.
very impressive mustache.
Yeah, it is.
That's weird.
Is
Interesting
it
mustache, sir.
is it for a role or is it the way he prefers it?
Probably for a role, yeah.
Because
Wow. That nobody has a mustache like that for funsies, do they?
mm,
Well,
my dad has a mustache for funsies. It's not like that. It's more cash, but still.
it's just like this one looks so dramatic. Like
Yeah.
he's going to laugh and like twirl the end of the mustache type of mustache, you know?
Remember when Salvador Dali type mustaches were popular?
Like a stringy, like thingy. Oh god, okay. That's a choice. So
All the hipster
yeah.
dudes were wearing them.
Yeah, I remember. The entire epidemic of like everything mustache related. It
Oh,
took a hold of my
remember?
country.
Remember?
There was a fucking whole ass restaurant called Mr. Mustache here.
Yikes.
And there were like for instance you could order a dessert and it came with a mustache made with the with whipped cream. So it's just like the mustache made. And there was also like a chocolate mustache and
I
the straws. The straws had little mustaches on them.
I genuinely don't understand why we were so fascinated with them.
I
Like,
have no.
what was
I
the
did see.
reason?
I did see like a very good post on. I think it was. I can't remember if it was Tumblr or Twitter that said, "Hey, wonder what happened to the girls that got the like the little mustache tattooed on them."
On
It's
their
like
finger?
I'm trans now. It's just like, oh, that's the importance of the mustache back in the day.
Probably not, but I mean, it's probably a coincidence.
Yeah, I know.
But there were a lot of girls that got these mustaches on their fingers.
I
And I'm like, what do you do now with them? Like, it's
know.
so
That's
cringe. It's
I
so fucking
know.
cringe. What do you do with those?
In general, like I wasn't thinking about the mustache, but in general, I am so glad my mom said like you can get tattoos from 18 up, like no problem. You can get tattoos, just like you cannot get anything impulsively. And
Yeah.
I am so relieved that I didn't like I wasn't thinking about the mustache, but I could have gotten something stupid. Like there was a time where Doctor Who and Sherlock had such a fucking hold on me that I would have gotten a tattoo from either of them.
Fandom tattoos are almost always a mistake.
Yes,
Something always happens after. Like all the people with Harry Potter tattoos are struggling now.
yes, yes. I have. I've seen a few. I've seen like people like quickly like, okay, I can get it covered up with something else, or like try to like hide it
I
quickly.
mean, it's still money and a lot of work, and no one can promise you that it will come out okay,
Yeah.
with
Well, there's
covering.
people that like are dedicated specifically to like cover up tattoos. So some of them are like great work, but other times just like uh you just made it worse. But
Yeah.
depends on how desperate you are to get rid of the tattoo that you have. So yeah. Oh, my there was a time where like I used to watch decades ago Supernatural with my sister.
Hmm.
So there was a time where she was like insisting, like the three of us should get the demon symbol tattoo, like the star. Just like we really should get those. And I was just like, okay, wait until I'm 18 and then we'll see.
Hmm.
And then we got to that time, and by the time that I was getting my tattoos, luckily we have both like drifted away from
Evolved.
Supernatural. So, and it was just by coincidence. Like the channel that was like playing Supernatural in our cable
Hmm.
system was like, oh, we're not going to like give you that show specifically. It was very weird. I think they had a like a licensing
It
problem
should
or
be.
something with the translation or something. Because here are they're dubbed or with subtitles. So
Yeah.
I have no idea what like the original issue was, but like as apart from like season 4, they stopped showing the Supernatural here, so we kind of managed to move on past that, and we
Yeah.
avoided the tattoo.
At the proper time.
Exactly. So I managed to survive the 3 fucking major fandoms on Tumblr without a
Without a
single
single.
tattoo on my body. I am delighted.
I feel like that's a lot.
I survived it. I made it.
Baby, you made it. You made it.
So
I mean,
awesome.
there are such a thing that I call starter tattoos, and a lot of people have them, and they're all cringe. Like the eternity symbol tattoo, the heart.
This heart I got me because like my parents said, you can get all the tattoos you want, no problem. Just like follow the simple rules. Do not get like anybody's name tattooed on.
Yeah.
Don't get anything that you like currently like fandom. And what was it else? don't. I can remember there were like 3 rules that my parents gave me. I was just like, okay, fine, no problem. And I kind of cheated with one of those because I was like, I love this band so much. There is no way I will ever regret the tattoo.
You might. You still might.
So so far it's been almost 10 years and I don't regret it. So we're doing good. This one is the vocalist of a group from Finland called Him. He has
Yeah,
like
yeah, I
this
know them.
tattoo, and he got like a shit ton of other things on top of it later. And I was just like, nah, I'm just gonna keep this one. Thank you. The problem is that back in the day, I used to like him. I still do. I still listen to him. But like, I liked him, the group, and then I liked Jackass.
Don't know
And
them.
this motherfucker from Jackass, Margera, I think his name is. Bam. He also has this one, but he's a douchebag. So
Oh, okay.
that is the consequence.
I mean,
On one side, I don't regret it. On another side, I kind of regret it because now I share a tattoo with a douchebag.
I mean, we. I guess a lot of people share tattoos with other people because some of the designs are kind of universal.
Mm.
Um, but like a lot of people that start early have starter pack tattoos, and I always can tell which tattoo is the oldest by that principle, because if it's a heart, if it's like um, an infinity symbol, if it's like
It's usually something,
birds on the collarbone
yeah, it's
or a
usually
feather.
something small and in black. Just
Yeah.
like usually, because that's actually like the advice they give you, like to see if you're not allergic to the ink, to see if you can handle the pain, because there's people that they can't, no matter like where on their body the tattoo is, they cannot handle the pain. So the advice that I got was like get a tattoo of something simple in black and somewhere where it should be kind of painful, not that painful. So I was just like, oh, yeah, I got this. And I got it on my 18th birthday at a small tattoo shop on an island
Mm-hmm.
where I went for my birthday. It was an island in South Texas.
Mm-hmm.
The place was deserted, and it's just that place is next to a bar, so it's there for drunk people to go get tattoos. And I knew it the moment I walked in. I was just like, I'm already here. I'm not gonna back out. It's a simple tattoo. What could go wrong?
Yeah, I guess.
It's wrong. Like it got erased on this side a
Mm-hmm.
little bit, like it faded, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's this side that he put like so much pressure
Mm-hmm.
on the tattoo that the ink kind of bled out at the bottom of it. So if you look at it too closely,
Okay, it's a
you're
bit
going to
buff.
see it. But I still love it. It's the first one. I like it. And then there was like Jesus fuck. This one.
This one is big.
This one, yeah. So it's like 3 things. It's a key, a watch, and a quill.
Mm-hmm.
So I ironically I regret this one more than I regret this one. I
What?
actually like this one, but this one I think the design wasn't like very good.
Mm-hmm.
It was very cheap.
Mm-hmm.
It was this one the first time because I had it done twice. This is like the
Mm-hmm.
retouched version. The
Mm-hmm.
original one kind of faded.
Mm-hmm.
It was terrible. It costed like what it would be 3,000, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like pesos, so it's not like much.
Mm-hmm.
And this one was like $60,
Mm-hmm.
and that sucked. The second time around that I got this one made, I still like, oh, I'm already here, so go ahead and I got this one.
You seem to be a person that is very like not hands-on.
I really don't think things through very much.
Yeah, you seem to be this way. I don't have tattoos. If I could get a tattoo while sleeping and not experiencing any sensation at all after,
It's
I'd
it's
get
just
one,
not
but otherwise, no, thank you.
it's not bad. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like something is scratching your skin. It doesn't feel like stabbing. It doesn't feel like needles. It doesn't even like feel like needles. It's just like somebody's holding like a kind of hot uh edge, not like really sharp, an edge on your skin. It's just like going like this. It doesn't like hurt badly, but depends on the place.
Yeah, I
Because
get it.
the places that I got are like not that painful, and this one didn't really like hurt at all. I was
Mhm.
surprised. This one was the one that hurt the
The
less,
least.
I think. And it's just, I think it starts hurting after a while when like they're going over it and over it. Like
Obviously.
this one has many details and like colors and everything. So when they go like over it, over it, over it, that's when it starts like kind of hurting.
Obviously. Mhm.
And this one, the closer it got to like this point is where it started hurting. But everything else is just like, meh, no problem.
I
So
mean, it
it's,
makes sense actually. If you ever like depilated, like took
yeah,
hairs out with
yeah, yeah.
a specific instrument, uh, it kind of, I mean, the whole hand actually hurts, but it hurts more in this area.
Yeah,
And with legs the same way, it's like the closer you get to your thigh, the more it hurts.
it's the sensitive
So,
areas. Like, I think the closer you get to the center of the body is where it hurts the most. And
maybe.
like, for instance, I've heard like the ribs hurt more. Like, my sister has more tattoos than me. Uh, and my brother is the only one that's like, nah, I'm not going to put up with it. My mom has tattoos, and my dad has a big one on his chest. So my brother is the
On
only
his
like
chest.
my dad got his first tattoo at 50. My mom
At
already had
50?
one.
At
Yeah,
50? Why? Why would
yes,
you need to do it at 50?
kind of a crisis, but it's still cool, I guess.
I mean, I feel like people get to choose to be like, oh, I'm hip and cool and stuff, you know? And when you're 50, it's kind of like you're over that already, like
Yeah,
making an impression.
it was a bit of a crisis, but we got through it. And so the only person in this house that doesn't have a tattoo is my brother. But we just know, we know he's not going to be able to handle one. Like we
Mm,
know, he's like he makes such a fuss when he gets like a splinter on his finger,
mhm.
such a fuss that we just know he won't be able to handle a tattoo of any shape. Because there was a time where he said like, "Oh yeah, I want like a dragon or something," just like
Yeah, whole
very
back, full
yes, I want a
dragon.
dragon across my back,
Yeah,
and it could like loop over to here and everything.
yeah,
Just like
yeah. Mhm.
sure, sure, sure,
Japanese
and
gang style tattoo.
exactly, and
I don't know how they do them because they're literally like whole back up to the ass crack and they're colored.
yes,
That's like a
they
lot.
it's in sessions. The tattoos, the one that took the longest was this one. It was like 4 hours, and I didn't take any breaks. I was just like, no, yeah, just like power through it. And it was like, yeah, done. And I got up and left. It was this one was like 20 minutes. This one was as well like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. The preparation of the station it takes more time than the actual like tattoo. So I think the one that took the longest in this house was the one that my dad has on the chest. because it's a portrait, so it took like a lot of detail, and so that was in sessions, I think.
People that do portraits are brave.
Yeah,
Like it could be botched at any moment.
yeah. Actually, like it's very good. The portrait that he got, it's my mom's face,
Hmm.
and it's not really as romantic as you think it is, but
I just thought about this.
and but anyway,
Oh.
my sister has a lot of like very small and random tattoos,
Mhm.
like one on the ribs and one of like on the back,
Mhm.
stuff like that. And I need more. I actually want like full sleeves,
Oof, that sounds
and
expensive.
I want one that it's like the full thigh. But I need to find somebody that can straight up make a Renaissance painting because I want an
And
archangel.
and
So it's like
a Mona Lisa on your thigh,
almost.
smiling. On your butt cheek, smiling. Like
God,
full butt cheek.
the whole magic. Oh no. So more tattoos. I want plants and flowers and bees.
I
Bees.
mean, they look pretty, but the amount of trouble you have to go through, like the amount of time it takes, the amount of money, the pain, like not for me, dog.
No, actually, when you get a tattoo, the actual like tattooing, it's nothing. The itching after it. I never the itch that you get when a tattoo is healing, it makes you want to rip off that piece of skin. It
Yeah,
makes
I
you want to grab a cheese grater to scratch with it. It's
that's
terrible.
that's what I'm doing when I have a pimple. So
You end up like you need to scratch really bad, so you end up scratching the edges, trying
yes,
not to touch the tattoo because it's so itchy.
when you have like what it's called in English, there is a disease that you get like not rashes but like pimples all over your skin.
Acne?
And you can't no you can't scratch it.
Chicken pox?
I think it's chicken pox. Like the kids usually get
Yeah,
it.
yeah, chicken pox. Oh, I we got that as kids, and they have this pink liquid thing that you put on like all the like the little marks,
Hmm.
and it was heaven. That shit made so that nothing itches. That I don't know what it was because I was like 5 when I got that.
I don't
So
know.
it
They
is like
do.
a pink thing.
I've had eczema for a while, and uh they not order. They offer this ointment. It's hormonal, I think, and that's when it doesn't itch anymore. Like
Mm. I think I can stand pain, no problem, but itching. Ugh. Oh, for instance, I sliced off the tip of this
like
nail.
go get out.
I have pictures of
Stop.
it.
Stop.
It
Stop.
actually grew up like no problem. It grew back fine.
What are you,
So
a lizard?
maybe, and
Apparently.
it was a very. I was arguing with my sister, and she was like getting on my fucking nerves. And I was slicing stuff for like dinner, and I was like, I was just like, oop! I didn't feel anything.
And
I
it was
just went like, oop! That's a lot of blood. Oop! I gotta oop! So it just
nice.
I was running around like I didn't know what to do exactly because I was afraid to look because I thought I sliced the tip of it, not
Yeah,
just like the
yeah.
nail. So
Uh-huh.
it's just like very afraid, like this is a lot of blood, damn it! And I felt like a little kid because like my dad is just like, come here, sit down, chill, let me fix it.
I
And he's
wouldn't
just
be
like
able.
calm and collected fixed my finger.
I wouldn't be able to look at it, and I wouldn't be able to do this for someone else. Like every single time a person is like, "Oh, something got into my eye. Can you look at it?" I'm like, "No, thanks. No, I don't want to look into your eye."
The shit
I
my
don't.
family, the shit my family has gone through with me because like my dad fixed the nail that I sliced off. My sister had to take me to the hospital to get stitches on my head and saw like the process of everything. She was panicking.
Oh.
And then like I used to scrape my knees like horribly. Like my knees hurt like I'm 50 or something because I fell on my knees so many times and I twisted my ankles so many times. It's ridiculous. One time I twisted my ankle and it got the size of like this fucking big. So my family has put up with enough of my bullshit throughout the years and all sorts of injuries. Oh, like the time that I was very drunk and I fell and hit my head on the sink. My face was this big. Like my eye got this big. And then I kind of busted my elbow open as well. So fun times. I'm a danger to myself.
Yeah, you should be like put into a bubble. There was a movie about a child that was put in a bubble.
Exactly. When I was little, like 7, 6 years old, I would fall down the stairs like twice a month, something like that. I rolled down those stairs so often that whenever my parents are questioning, like, why are you like this? I reminded them that I landed on my head plenty of times. And my baby is done
Tired
with
of
my
your
shit as
bullshit.
well.
Okay, I guess we're done with the episodes. Next week, I don't know what's gonna happen. Sunday, Saturday, we're going to talk it out. Literally don't know what's
Sunday.
going to happen next week. I'm like upset about going to work, but
Oh, Lord.
I'll handle it. The next thing that I'm waiting for is the holidays, the New Year's Eve holidays, because that's the only thing to wait for.
Yes.
Um, thanks everyone for joining us. I hope you have a very good end of this weekend and a really productive, wholesome week ahead of you. I have no recommendations today. Nothing comes to my mind. As in like media stuff.
I just have to recommend
Beyond Evil.
exactly. Also,
You're not original.
no, I'm not. Also, I watched a Korean thriller. It's okay. It's kind of fun. It's called Midnight, and it's just like one of those serial killers that is just like he just went nuts. He just goes nuts.
Okay.
And the main character and her mom are deaf, so
Mhm.
that's like the thrilling aspect of it because they cannot hear the killer coming.
Mhm.
So it's fun. It was good. It was very interesting. It's just like the everything happens on a like a single night and that's it. It's fun.
So, if you're looking for a quick thriller, Midnight.
Yeah, midnight.
So I guess we're going to say goodbye now.
Also, a little warning. Please do not watch on theaters. I know it's like probably many people already did. Don't watch the new Halloween movie in theaters. It sucks.
Everyone said it's trash. I've
It's
heard
so
that it's
bad.
trash.
It's so terrible. I regret paying for it. I should have watched it on a
It
computer
happens.
like months later,
It happens.
recorded on somebody's phone.
I
Shit.
mean, when did we ever got when did we ever get like a good sequel? Never. So like
Yeah.
you should know by now that sequels are bad and just not go.
I
Usually
was
they're bad.
the first one got me like excited because the first one was very good, but sad times. And that's it. That's all I gotta say. We
Goodbye.
can go now.
Bye bye. Bye everyone.
Bye.
I'm ending this podcast.